You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Coach Brett with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. We've got a really cool show for you. We've got the news with Tawnee and a video review. We're going to take two different people's videos that they've sent us, and I'll post them on the website so you can go check them out. And one is of swimming, and one is of running. And swimming is my expertise. I pick out some really cool stuff for our, I'll call him our donor, for our donor from Sweden to check out, to work on. And Tawnee is just a freaking guru at running tips and tricks and finding stuff. And she picks out those. Also, the news. Lots of triathlon news going on. Breaking news, all kinds of cool stuff that she and I cover. That's about an hour long. And then I tell you the secret to happiness. And just because I tell you what it is, doesn't mean that it's easy. It's actually pretty hard. But with that, I think you'll be able to really put in some good work and maybe make some progress towards being a really, really happy person. And then we have the training log, and this is my final build week to race day for Ironman Texas. I do heat training. I describe how to start doing intervals. There's a really nice trick to getting stronger, but you got to build in the appropriate amount of rest. And it's a type of training that I think a lot of you will really, really enjoy. So that is this episode. Let's go ahead and get started with Tawnee and the news and some video review. Here we go. Hey, Tawnee, how's it going?
It's going really well. It's good to be back again, three times in a row, man. I'm stoked.
I see you got the Shimano trucker hat on.
Oh, yeah. Right after this, I'm actually leaving for the rest of the afternoon to go teach boot camps and get with my clients in the gym and have a very active afternoon. So got all my gear ready.
What are you gonna eat?
You know,
keep
okay.
up all that energy.
That's so funny you should bring that up, because I was actually going to bring up this right before we got on the phone right now. This morning for breakfast, I did a run fasted. So when I came home, I had a purple sweet potato mixed with 2 eggs, chia seed, and like some shredded coconut and stuff. So that was what I had right after my run. And it's kind of like I kind of mix it all up into like this pseudo oatmeal consistency, and it's freaking fabulous. I'm going to be posting the recipe for it soon on my Coach Tawnee website, because it's just too good to share anymore. And then I was already hungry from that, so I made this random snack just now, and I've never made this before in my life, and I just had this weird craving. Have you ever had Rao's pasta sauce, RAOS?
I don't think so. No?
It's not organic, and it's not anything like crazy health nut, whatever, but they sell it at Whole Foods and everything. And it is like crack. I mean, I've never been one to like promote a pasta sauce or marinara sauce, but this stuff is amazing. And I mix that up with half an avocado and some sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and just like mix that in a bowl.
That sounds good.
Was like so random, but it totally hit the spot. It was like super high fat. It's going to keep me like energized and like steady for the next several hours. So
I finally got my nutrition down where I can work out for like an hour plus without anything, you know.
Good.
And
at like what intensity?
Oh, with intervals mixed in. Yeah. Nice. Like I can, and I've tried adding, just out of paranoia, I better have a sip of something before I do this interval. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
Good.
So, it's nice.
So, I want to hear a little bit about you before we start talking about news and how things are going in your, like, countdown to Texas.
Oh, man. I'm doing Sammy Inkinen style training, which is a lot. It's also, you know what? It's Ben Greenfield style training. A lot of intervals, but just enough to make you stronger and faster, and then a lot of rest, and then everything's measured so that you keep improving and that you don't do anything to make you worse off, and then you can keep getting stronger and stronger. But the problem is you do enough of that, you don't know how to pace yourself for something long like an Ironman, right? You're plenty fit, plenty strong. So what you do is on the weekend you mix in a really long bike ride, and temper yourself. Like, okay, I did a 4-hour bike ride at whatever watts, and I finished feeling fine, right? So that's probably what I should do my Ironman at. I shouldn't do, harder, faster,
So I thought you were doing more like big volume stuff. Like,
I quit. I was like, that sucks. And this is way better. We'll find out at the Ironman if it's actually, any faster. But I feel like stronger, faster, more energized. I feel healthier, a lot healthier, and I have a lot more time with my family. So
that's so huge.
Yeah, I'm like, I went. Kai and I went for a run. I ran, and he rode his bike. And when we were done, we did an hour and a half. So it's kind of a long run.
Yeah.
And but when I was done, I was in no rush to go anywhere. I didn't have to go work out more or anything. So we just sat on the curb, like father and son, just kind of sitting on the curb, drinking water, and just talking about whatever, in the shade of a tree. And I'm like, I don't have to rush off and go do more, And because I did intervals during that run, I did the stuff that's going to make me faster and stronger anyway.
Yeah, you're going to be... Actually, I think those two, the approaches that you've had are going to complement each other so well. You're going to kick butt. I'm so excited to track you next weekend.
Actually, yeah, if theoretically, you would think doing a big chunk of volume for a while, right, and getting really, really aerobically fit, and then stopping that and then going into high intensity to make sure you're nice and strong. And then the other thing is I feel totally recovered and ready to race like every 3 days.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, like I'm fine. Like I just know that if I just take a couple days, it would be like lifting weights. Like how long do you need to wait before you go lift weights again? A couple days. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel fine. So
awesome.
I feel really energized. I feel like I'm going into this race not exhausted and hoping that I'm recovered by race day.
There's very few people who can handle the big volume, especially on the amateur level when we're all working and have other lives to deal with. I mean, it's tough. You really have to dedicate yourself to not just those 20+ hour weeks, but then the fatigue and the fact that you just want to lay on the floor for the rest of the day afterwards.
Yeah. And man, if I figure this out, I'm going to be like Ben, man, I'm going to sell the hell out of this.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to because it's nice. It's so nice. But there's a specific way that I'm doing it that works for me. And the whole time I'm doing it, I'm trying to figure out, how can I communicate this to other people? Because if it works pretty well, then other people are going to want to do it too. So, but then people get so caught up in the trap of doing it exactly like the person that they're modeling it after. Like when I first started doing it, I started doing it exactly like Sammy Inkinen, right? Because he's got this one blog post where he documented everything that he did.
I'm going to check that out. Send me the link to that.
Okay, yeah. And then quickly I found out, well, this guy is the best half Ironman, second best amateur at Kona and beat half the pro field. That's sub 9 hour at Kona. And I'm sitting here trying to replicate what he's doing. Like, that's not going to work so well. You're going to find out really quick you're not that good.
Yeah.
So, the danger is people try to exactly copy what somebody's doing. And so if I try to teach other people how to do it like this, then it'll be, I have to reiterate 1,000 times, follow your heart and do this theoretically. Don't do this exact workout on this day, just like I did, because it may not work. So.
Right. Yeah. Right. Good stuff. I know you can't, that intensity stuff too. It comes with, it's very, very appealing to do the low volume, high intensity, but it's also, you're treading some risky waters in terms of you have to have a pretty strong foundation with your body and not break down easily. I mean, that's when you're risking injury more. And that's why I think the MAF approach for so many people that are newer to the sport maybe can be more beneficial because it's way less risky in that sense.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of volume though. That's the trade-off.
Yeah. And then the thing, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I was getting faster with all the volume for sure. It was just exhausting me
Yeah.
time-wise. And the I've got I think I've zeroed in on a way to do the intervals in a way that they're safe, that they don't hurt you, which I think is like you were just mentioning. That's the critical thing, is to not get injured.
Shouldn't you be like cutting yourself off at this point though and tapering?
Very close.
Okay.
Sammy, again, don't exactly replicate what he did, but that guy could put out nearly 400 watts. It was like 395 watts for 50 minutes climbing up Mount Diablo, right?
That's crazy.
So you're talking about somebody that was crazy strong and crazy. He just, we're going to talk about Wildflower. He just won Wildflower again, first amateur, beat half the pro field.
What was his time?
I don't know. But 12 hours a week, He's not even really training. He's doing like a rowing across the Pacific thing. See,
those type of people, like, they're the freaking anomalies, man.
Yeah, that's why it's the theory. It's not. Yeah, and then I wanted to mention that Tawnee, I almost got us a free ticket to go cover Challenge Sardinia, this island off the coast of Italy, in the Mediterranean. So let me tell you how it happened. Do you know what happened?
I have no idea. I saw like some little tweets going on. I was like, what's going on right now?
Like a couple episodes ago, Tawnee and I were talking, and I was like, listen, people, Tawnee and I will come cover your race if it's a really freaking cool race and it's for free and you get us there, then we will do the best media broadcasting that your race has ever seen, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll have a blast and tons of people will watch. And so then, lo and behold, I got one of these tweets that I get on occasion, and it was, hey, we have this wonderful race. Please retweet. But, like, directed directly at me. They don't really know me or anything, but they're like, hey, tweet about this. And I wrote back, well, kind of depends. Am I invited?
I know, right? Logical response.
It's like, hey, talk about our great party.
But then you're not invited.
Am I allowed in? And then, so a whole bunch of direct messages behind the scene. It's a half distance Ironman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the Med, this beautiful resort. It's put on by Challenge, and so it's just fantastic. And so I said, listen, Tawnee and I host really big podcasts about triathlon. Yeah. And they were saying that they were asking, like, where do we live? What who our audience is? And I said, well, the entire world. I was really trying to get.
I actually, it's fun. Like, I was just interacting with a guy on our Endurance Planet page this morning. He's like, just to give you an idea of like how global you are. I'm coming to you from like, was it like Puerto Rico or? Yeah. And I'm from It's like, it's seriously all over the world.
I know. Oh, it was so funny, Tawnee. You should have. God, I need to send you the stream of direct messages.
Are we in the race or what?
No. Listen to what happened. They go, do you know any top pros?
I did.
And I said, well, yeah, like through interviewing them, and Tawnee knows even more than I do. I think that's what I said. And I said, Tawnee knows plenty. And then I was really trying to get you in on the deal too, Tawnee. And then, because honestly, I'll hold the camera. You can be the one on the camera because you know what you're doing with that. So then they said, so I got them down to actually yes or no, like tell me, can Tawnee and I come? Are you going to pay for us to come? And then they said, well, we're just the promotional company. We really don't have the decision for that, and we don't have the money to make that call.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm like, well, what about advertising?
Dude, I like where your heart is at with this, man.
I'm like, come on, we can promote this show, or we could promote this race on our show. Yeah, and I think I haven't heard back from them in 2 days. I think I scared them off. Okay. But anyway, that was fun.
The quest
I'm trying.
Continues.
What?
The quest continues.
The quest continues for us to go to like Thailand or oh man, Sardinia. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
And then so did you see the news story about this?
Challenge?
I just saw it this morning. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up too. It's funny because I actually had Brad Culp on my show yesterday talking about triathlon stuff. I haven't talked to him since like January, so we were like long overdue.
Right.
And we were talking about, that like some of the stuff that you and I have been talking about with the prize purses and all that, and the whole thing of challenge came up, but unfortunately, this story didn't come out until this morning, and this Bahrain race. I mean, $500,000 prize purse.
Right.
$500,000, the largest.
For a half Ironman distance race, half iron, whatever. And lo and behold, they're going to allow pros. I'm like, pros still exist. Okay. And then, you know what that's the biggest payout for a half. Kona only pays $650 for a full, so it's half the distance for, almost as much money. I can't find this news story is such a hit that when I went to the website to try to figure out like how they do the breakdown, like what's first going to get, second, third, the website's swamped. It won't even run. But that was earlier this morning. Maybe you can get it to run right now. But it's in Bahrain, which is a real Western-friendly Middle Eastern country. The Prince of Bahrain is the one that swam across the Gulf of something with Macca.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you remember Macca doing that a few weeks ago?
I remember. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do remember catching wind of that. So obviously they're like really super friendly toward endurance athletes in triathlon. Then that's great.
Yeah, there's this huge triathlon center that they've built that they want people to come through, and that swim that the Prince of Bahrain did was no joke. It ended up being 25 miles.
Jeez. It's like stuff you do.
And he wouldn't quit. And
I don't blame him. That sucks.
And it was just crazy. Like that guy's serious, And in these types of countries where the royalty runs everything, they make the calls. So if the royalty's in a triathlon, guess which direction that whole country's going to go for a while.
Hey, I'm not going to argue that one. That's
I'm
great.
like, cool.
I love it.
Yeah, so the prince is big time. The king of Bahrain was on the shore when the prince got out of the water, and they're so like such a patriarchal kind of family and society that the prince asked permission to sit down. And the king was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. But this is huge. What do you think about this?
I'm trying to look up more. I mean, I haven't really looked at it in detail. I just kind of caught wind. But I think it's great because we're just entering an age where I think it's going to be very decisive to see where this sport continues on. And if you can't pay the pros the way they need to be paid, I mean, there's only so much heart and soul you can put into it before you have to be able to make money and pay your life, And I like that Challenge is setting the bar for
they took advantage of this
stuff.
Yeah,
it's great.
What was the other thing about this? It's so cool. Slow Twitch did a big review on where the sport's going. Yeah, and in the United States, I think because we got onto triathlon earlier than everybody else, maybe our market has flattened out. We're not growing much at all.
That's what Brad was telling me.
But it's like we're saturated. I mean, we're maybe not saturated, but the rest of the world is, the whole point is the rest of the world's growing a lot in triathlon. And so this is in a place where the rest of the world, can center in on, right? Mm-hmm. It's not North American centered. It's centered, where people from Asia and Europe, it's right in the middle.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it's the races in December, early December, kind of like the tail end of the big season here in North America, what kind of pros you're going to get that come out there. I mean, obviously everyone's going to want to do it. Half Ironman's not too super taxing, so it'd be interesting to see what the lineup, because
I didn't think about that either. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll also be giving free accommodation and, of course, free entry to all the pros, too, according to the website. And they're probably flying out there, too, for that.
This is awesome. If you're a pro, man, you want to go do this. Right? This is so great. Yeah. Yeah, and like you're saying, it's a half Ironman, right? So it's not that bad.
That's no big deal, man. You can bust those out any given second.
Yeah. But we still don't know how deep they'll pay and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I can't find that right now either. So, oh well. We have plenty of time to figure it out. So what else is new?
Let's see. Well, you want to do the race reports for
Yes.
for Wildflower and St. George, for example?
Oh, yes. Fresh on my head.
So let's do Wildflower first.
Okay.
There's Jesse Thomas won it. Did he win 4 times in a row, or did he have to miss a year?
Consecutively. He did. He was consecutive.
That's crazy.
It's crazy freaking awesome.
Yeah. 4 years. 4 years straight of winning that. That race is hard. Have you ever done Wildflower?
No, and everyone. Okay, so like my whole deal is like when I was in grad school, like it'd always be around finals, and for me, it's just a really busy time of work. Like my clients are all like, it's like about. So yeah, it's just been one of those things where I haven't been able to tear myself away for it yet.
I didn't go check out the course before the race, and also it was like a priming race for Wisconsin, so it wasn't an A race. So my coach had us work out a lot right before it, so that it was even harder.
I'm not a fan of that strategy.
No. I got out. Okay, the swim is the swim, right?
Yeah.
But holy crap, that is a hard race. It is really hilly.
Well, actually, okay, so I have ridden the bike course up there. It's so cool because they have permanent mile markers on the roads out there. So my boyfriend and I were up there last year. Actually, it was kind of a miserable ride because it was on either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and it was freezing freezing. I was like, oh, this is not fun. But the course was gorgeous and challenging. Honestly, it's not much more challenging, though, than a lot of the training I have around here in Southern California.
Right, I can see that. Yeah.
And
then on the run, I remember going, what the hell? This is off-road. Like, a lot of the run is off-road on trails. And I remember somebody commenting, like, they weren't expecting that they could reach out and touch the ground with their hands at times. Like, parts of it are pretty steep.
It's like mountains.
And I'd only raced in Texas up until that point.
So how did that whole train through it and not recover thing work out for you then?
I did okay. I mean, I probably PR'd, I guess.
That's good.
So I was getting, way more fit that whole year. So
yeah.
But okay, so who won the girls' side?
3-peat Heather Jackson. So
that's right.
Jesse got his 4-peat and Heather got her 3-peat, and man, I mean, it would have been fun just to watch that, regardless of even racing or not. That's awesome. That's Heather's race. I mean, Heather really, it works to her strengths for sure, and especially now that she knows that course like the back of her hand. And I like to joke too. I think that Waddy has a special soft spot for it because you're so close to really great wine country and good beers and all that kind of stuff. So you know how they are with that.
Yeah.
So
and then Starkowitz's seat post fell.
Oh, really?
At mile, like early on the bike, he hit a pothole and his seat post sank, and then he wasn't able to get his seat post back up until mile 40 on the bike.
Still got the fastest bike split of the day, though.
Yeah, he got 4th.
Wow.
With that,
I didn't know that.
It fell like 2 inches or something. Like it would really mess you up.
Detrimental, like not just obviously for the bike, but like what that will do, like low back pain and then leading into the run. Yeah, that's got to be.
That's pretty impressive. I learned the other day. I'm surprised I didn't already know this. That Starkowitz yelled and cussed and back and forth with an ex-doper cyclist that was in a triathlon with him.
Wasn't that at Oceanside?
Yeah, probably. And
I think it was.
And I'm like, oh, I like Starkey now.
Yeah, because everyone the day I was at Oceanside, everyone's like, how could they let this pro, former doper race? And I was like, who the hell are they even talking about? I honestly I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. He's not one of like the main big guys right now.
He might get that way. He's definitely as fast or faster than Starkowitz on the bike. And so apparently Starkowitz either came across during the race past him or like while getting ready for the race, like crossed paths with him, and Starkowitz started like cussing him out and saying doper, and that other guy got really mad and started yelling back at Starkowitz, and I'm like, that is so Starky to like just start mouthing off to him,
Right, that's
like,
awesome.
Somebody needs to do that, so I guess, whatever. But I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, let's see, anything else about Wildflower?
I was happy to see.
Issue didn't seem to be that much?
Yeah, so I found out like logistically, and this is everyone's giving mad props to the organizers. Terry, I guess, is the longtime RD of the race, and it's like when you have that situation of the lake being practically empty, the fact that they were able to pull it off and figure out a solution and not cancel the swim was fabulous. And they had it ended up occurring in like a nearby little stream or lake thingy, and that's what caused T1 to be like over 2 miles long of running.
But they counted that 2 miles towards the rest of the run.
Right. So I didn't know that at first. And I was like looking at T1, I'm like, how is that possible? These T1 times are still like pretty normal. But yeah, so they chopped off some mileage on the actual run and then added those 2 miles to the run.
Yep.
So
it's a way to do it.
That's a first. I've never seen that happen before, but freaking genius.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it was a good race. I definitely am gonna. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's an experience. The camping beforehand is actually what it's all about.
Yeah. But I would never do the Olympic. I mean, I would be all about doing the half.
Oh, yeah, the half.
No way I want to be like tortured on Saturday night when everyone's partying and I'm like, wait, I have to race tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to, yeah.
No thanks. St. George.
Pretty good.
So we were talking about like Angela and Jody Swallow and Jody definitely pulled through with second. Angela, I saw the tweet that you guys had together. She had like Giardia or something.
Yeah, she was said that she had Giardia before and still hadn't really recovered very much.
Dude, I didn't know that.
And then, this is that situation with I'm actually having an actual squirrel moment. There's a squirrel on the house across the street.
Squirrel moment.
There's mockingbirds that are attacking it, like to get it away. Like there's like 6 mockingbirds like flying around, like attacking it. Okay. Anyway,
my master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel.
Squirrel. This is that situation that happens with where they concentrate all the pros into one race. You got people like Jordan Rapp and Angela Nath, like placing way out off the top, right? Because there's so many pros there.
It's ridiculous.
It gets to be oversaturated with everybody showing up, and
I don't know, but it's just everyone is so close in fitness. Like the guys, the top 25 guys all went under sub 4 hours. 25 guys going under sub 4 hours, and like the spread is like the first top 3 or something were all within a minute. So. Right. It's almost like ITU-ish in that sense. You would expect...
Oh, and Jan Frodeno or whatever won it.
Pull through with their win, baby. Yeah. I called that one. I'm getting good at this. Yeah. No, it was still really good though. It's definitely what's interesting is usually these harder hilly courses, you'll see a lot bigger gaps in between the finishing. I mean, even look at Wildflower. There's like at least a couple minutes between the top pros finishing times and all that. But St. George, it was back to back to back to back to back. I mean, there was never a dull second for looks like a 10-minute stretch of finishing.
Yeah, and a race that hard usually breaks apart the field pretty good.
Yeah, but the biggest, I think for the guys at least, the biggest takeaway for me is that it looks like the Uber bikers, they are Uber bikers, but they just they can't hold on that run. And it just really comes down to the run on a hard course like that.
Yeah.
I guess, I really think the same goes for the women as well.
I think, my mind's starting to go forward into Ironman Australia. Did you know anything about that race? I got an interesting tidbit on that.
No, well, I know that Melissa Hauschild won her first Ironman, but it didn't. Apparently, it wasn't this glamorous, flawless day. So she had to fight for it, from what I heard. I didn't end up following the whole race, to be honest with you.
I don't know if it was Australia or another long race, another Ironman that Hilary Biscay was in. Let me look.
She was in. Yeah, it was the same one.
Did you read her blog post about what happened?
No, what happened?
She had to lay down in the race and then kind of gather herself, and then because she's never quit one before or something like that, just decided to keep on going. Sounds to me like she's overtrained or just worn out because she did Ultraman in the fall. Yeah. And then is just racing tons, and with her clothing line, the Smash Fest Queen.
I don't know how she does it.
It's like really taken off, and it's nice stuff, and I think she's kind of worn out. So this is how you know. I was reading this. This is how you know when you might need to take a break. She was in putting any kind of pressure on the pedals seemed to require me to reach deep down into my chest and gather strength that was not there. That's any kind of pressure on her pedals. I was empty inside and could hardly keep my eyes open. I kept looking for a grassy patch on the side of the road to lay down, but eventually convinced myself just to keep pedaling till T2, and then I figured I could lie down.
Oof.
And so that's what she did. This is kind of funny what happened. She grabbed her transition bag and curled up in the fetal position on the asphalt in the change tent and tried to sleep.
Oof.
Apparently, though, 400 milligrams of caffeine she had taken on the bike wouldn't give her energy, but it wouldn't let her sleep, right? So you're just laying there and you've got the jitters, but you got no energy and you can't sleep. And she eventually... Since she couldn't, this is how tough she is. Since she figured since she couldn't sleep, she might as well just get going, and she ran an entire marathon like that. That's number 64.
I have so much respect for that, will and drive to push on, but it's also like, you can't tell Hillary to stop though. She's just one of those few people where she just goes and. I'm curious to see what she'll do after this because I just pulled up her blog too, and that's pretty like, putting that stuff out there publicly like that, and that's.
Well, if I was her, I would take off 6 months. Just be like,
it's so hard for someone like her. I get it. I would I'd be like, I wouldn't probably have finished if I were her, but
you take off 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever, until you feel fine again, and then you'll come back even stronger than when you stop. So.
She's such an energetic girl, though. I mean, hanging out with her in Kona this past year and then just kind of seeing her around town all week while she was still training for Ultraman. I know you had her on your show for Ultraman.
Yeah, she's an awesome interview.
I was just so impressed with how together she was the whole week while doing all this gnarly training, working her booth for Smash and all that. It was like, where does this come from?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's crazy.
So go check out our blog, everybody. It's really interesting. This is how you feel whenever you've overdone it, right?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that even the toughest people do this by accident. They get cooked. And even though want to keep what's crazy is you want to keep going, but your body is just telling you no. And then what happens at that point is you start running not even off of calories anymore. You're running off of all your other hormones and everything, and that's how you get really depleted.
So depleted.
Yeah, because there's now you're having to willpower yourself through this stuff, and you've only got so much of that before you get really sick or something. So, what do we got next?
You wanted to talk about the OC marathon and the little
I saw that.
That was interesting. So I didn't run the full marathon. I ran the half marathon, and it was such a beautiful, perfect morning for it. Thankfully, they start that race so early. Like the full starts at 5:15, which I know, right? Which is great though because it was freaking hot. Like I finished the half before 8, and it was like I was already sweating my brains out. But I was reading this article came out like that.
That's unbelievable.
The winner was getting illegal aid throughout the entire marathon via a guy who was on a bike throwing him nutrition and pacing him, which is a big no-no.
Feeding them water. Feeding them water the entire time.
Yeah.
Imagine running a marathon with somebody handing you a fresh glass of water anytime you want.
We'd all PR. I mean, especially if you have your pacer like telling you this is exactly the pace you need to be going. Shoot, we could all be freaking pro of that. But so then the second place guy, who happened to be the brother of Ryan Shea, who was tragically passed away a handful of years ago during Olympic trials, which I wasn't aware that his brother was such a great elite runner. So was it Stephen Shea, I think, or something? Yeah. He got second, and he had his people throughout the course kind of following him, but not doing anything bad. And they happened to get video of first place dude getting all this illegal aid and submitted the videos. And apparently there was a handful of videos that came in. So it wasn't just like one fluke little something. But the guy got disqualified.
Yeah, and
after setting the course record too.
Yeah. So what's really funny is the way the guy admitted it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm speaking on my own terms, but pretty much he was like, "Yeah, sorry about that. I feel bad." It's like
So
he like knew the entire. Oh, and that's the other thing is on the video they said that he was saying that we're gonna get busted for this. This is not
totally
right. Yeah, and like the blatant cheating, and just hoping maybe that maybe they won't get busted for it. Maybe he won't get taken away.
I mean, it's no Boston or LA marathon, but still, like, don't think that just because it's still actually really popular. There's more than 22,000 people that did it.
Big. It's a big.
It's
race.
really big. And I mean, it was the type of big where the idea of having available toilet paper in the porta potties before was like, yeah, right. And that was a little bit of an issue for us before we started. It was funny though. I actually finished the half marathon. They had 2 different chutes, and I was going through the half marathon shoot at just exactly at the same time as the winner who got disqualified was going through the marathon shoot. So the crowd was going crazy when I was finishing. Of course, not for me.
You're like, this is what it would feel like.
Yeah, right.
If I won an entire marathon in my hometown.
I'm a good triathlete, but I've never been a good open runner in terms of.
Yeah, that's a different skill set.
It's so different.
Yeah.
It's not one that I'm looking to hone in on, quite frankly. But yeah, no, that was interesting. I'm glad that justice was served.
Justice was served. But it would have been better if the guy was like, like really apologized hard, or at least like tried to deny it for a little bit. But it was so like such a anticlimactic. He was just
it was like,
sorry about that.
I think he lost like $2,000. It was like that was like the prize money or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. And then speaking of like random things happening, I just sent you this story. I just saw this morning about Vibram is agreeing to settle a class action lawsuit for claiming that the Vibram 5 fingers prevent injury and are guaranteed to make you stronger. Which, look, you can't guarantee something like that.
Yeah, I bought a pair and they actually made me worse with my left foot. They made me slap my left foot into the ground too hard, and then it made my left toes go numb, so I quit wearing them. Yeah.
I would wear them for, like, if I had specific drill work, or if I wanted to run on sand and not step on the bees or something.
Well, that's the thing, is there's a definite purpose for them, and then people decided, because I was big into barefoot running right before those came out, people decided to start wearing those to barefoot run in. They were not invented for barefoot running. They were invented for, like, working on a sailboat and for river rafting and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting, because now it looks like Vibram's going to be refunding anyone who you don't have to have a receipt. But anyone who thinks that they were wrongfully sold these shoes in terms of with this guarantee that they'd become stronger has the opportunity to get some money back, like anything from from 50 up to almost $100. Vibram's going to pay out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't make false claims. And I think a lot of it has to do with, there's been some studies done, scientific, controlled studies showing that, these minimalist shoes are not going to guarantee you get stronger, like doing squats in the gym or whatever.
Our buddy Lucho says, it all depends, right? It's a tool.
Yeah.
So you use them Nike was really careful with the Freeze. They're like, these are not everyday running shoes. They said that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
These are like every once in a while to strengthen your feet and then run in something else.
Yeah. Did you? You should listen to my podcast with Dave Jewell if you haven't already on running shoes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It was like a couple weeks ago, and we just geeked out on that. But it makes so much sense. No matter what kind of runner you are, you should build yourself up to be able to run in multiple kinds of shoes, and how that is going to work for you. I mean, I just posted a picture on my Instagram this morning of my 2 favorite shoes right now, my Hoka's and my Skoras. I mean, could they be any more different?
That picture is so confusing, because I can't tell if they're laying on the beach and then there's that water, it's like wet sand underneath it, but it's too perfect, and the shoes look like they're floating in zero gravity, and I'm like, what is going on? Then I finally figured it out. It looks like a soft not stained glass, what do you call it, matte finished glass picnic table
Yeah,
like
that's pretty
outdoor.
much what it is.
Yeah.
Their
And so-
patio table.
Patio table. And I'm like, okay, God, that is what like freaked me out about that picture forever. Like things were not as they should be.
That's really funny.
And then I got another thing. We need people to tell us, tell me or Tawnee, which is the right way to say it. You're saying Vibram. I always grew up saying Vibram.
I said that too. I thought it was Vibrams as well, but then someone corrected me, and I don't know if that someone was right or I'm just easily gullible.
No, right? So we have a call out. People tell us, is it Vibram or Vibram?
Vibram makes more sense to me the way it's spelled.
Yeah, like vibrate.
Vibram would be like VEE.
But they're Italian, so who knows how they say it over
Oh,
there.
yeah. Good point.
I grew up, in the Boy Scouts backpacking all the time, and you get that material, the rubber that Vibram makes for hiking shoes is top notch. It's the best, absolute best.
See, when I was a kid, I used to get those like CVS water socks for all our camping and lake trips, and those did me just fine.
Are you ready to review some videos?
Let's do it. Okay, so
Okay.
are we doing the swim one too, or just a run one?
This one.
Okay, I actually didn't look at that one yet, but you're the expert there anyways, so.
Okay, and you're the expert on running. I thought these worked out just great. And I think on the bike, you and I would probably be okay, but this is where we're good.
The bike, it gets a little bit more technical, like, because then you're talking about a fit situation. With running and swimming, it's just your body pretty much figuring it out.
Okay. So we put out a call for people to send us videos. Okay, so what happened was you and Lucho were talking about it, and it was like, you go, man, Lucho, we should like ask people for videos, and then we review them on the show. And Lucho said, "Yeah, I guess so." And then
I was like, "I'm too lazy to do that."
And you were like, "Well, maybe not." And I was sitting there listening to this, going, "This is the best idea ever." And then, so I thought we'd try it on here, and then if it's good, like you do it, whatever, I don't care.
We
I
already
can't stick
did
with
it,
anything. You already did it. I can't.
This is my second one.
I can't stick with anything for more than a few episodes anyway, so it's good. So.
Neither can Lucho. No, actually, I was like, well, shoot, wait. You asked me to do it. I was like, oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, I was like, wait, you got that idea from me. I didn't even realize it.
And then you said that you and Lucho were going to do it, and I go, hey, you're stealing my idea. I stole from you. Okay, so we're going to do this. You want to start with Chris Haig first?
Yeah, man.
Okay, Chris Haig is super freaking cool guy.
I like this dude.
He's from the East Coast. I've raced. He can do like a 4:20. I'm like, dude, we don't need to review your running.
I know.
He can do a 4:20 half Ironman. I remember.
I saw him at Vegas last year.
At where?
At Vegas 70.3 Worlds.
Dude's freaking awesome. But maybe you might be able to pick up on something to help him out on his run. What did he say he was doing on the treadmill? Like a 6:20 pace or?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, something crazy.
I missed that part.
And I didn't notice anything except for that thing where Lucho was saying to keep your hands up closer to your chest and swing your elbows more than your hands.
The region.
What?
I called it in the boobular region.
Yeah, and you called it in the boobular area, like that. But anyway, then I was like, well, maybe he could try that and see if he's any faster. That's what's so awesome about a treadmill. I love trying different things on the treadmill because you settle into a pace, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go, wonder if I hold my hands a little bit lower, right? And then all of a sudden you start running off the front of the treadmill. Well, then you know that's an improvement. Mm-hmm. And then and you wear a heart rate monitor the entire time, and you can tell if it's more work or less work. Mm-hmm. So, or you try something, and then all of a sudden your heart rate drops a little bit for the same speed.
Sometimes, though, if you're an efficient runner, when you start to make these corrections, you're actually going to see the increase in heart rate because it's foreign to you. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you need to adapt your body to this new way. That's actually something I run into quite a bit with my people that I'm coaching. And you just have to give them that encouragement. Like, it may feel awkward and it may feel like it's requiring more from you now, but in the long run, when we make this like the norm, it'll be okay. And that's with someone has like a known problem. Like, look, I think at the bottom line too, with a lot of this stuff, you should be running in a way that feels natural to you and not try to overchange it if you're injury free.
Yeah. So looking at Chris's video, what do you think?
Well, he started off he did 2 different angles. So thank you, Chris, for that. And the first one he gave us was looking at him from behind on a treadmill in what looks to be like some badass huge gym. Did you really see how big that gym is that he's in?
And then he's in that thing wearing some kind of sock on his head and a wife beater shirt.
He's so stylish in this. And he's sporting the Hokas.
Yeah.
Hokas on the treadmill.
Man, he might come do the Iron Baby next fall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. The one thing I noticed from this rear view, which is something I don't see too common actually with people, but he seems to cross over. His feet he doesn't plant wide enough. So when he's striking his foot, it's like his feet kind of cross over one in front of the other.
Yeah.
And he's like almost digging in, if that makes sense. I don't know the best terminology but that to me would be the one red flag I see here, because what you would then logically think is that that's going to be putting more stress on like your IT band and your glutes and all that kind of stuff. And even actually the lateral side of your foot, because if you're like crossing over like that, there's a good chance that you're landing more on the outside of the foot rather than a natural like pronation that occurs. So I'd be curious to see. This is with these kinds of things, you always want to know, like, okay, is there any injury of history or things like that nature?
It's kind of like running on a single track trail that's really narrow. After a while, it tires you out having to put one foot directly in front of the other.
Right.
And then a cure would be, try running down the white line on the side of a street or something, or a crack in the line in some pavement. And try making your feet land on either side of the line a little bit and see how awkward that is or whatever.
Yeah, and I as far as I know, there's not too much to say that this is directly associated with like injury or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, I feel that if he were to pick this out, I'm sure he would see it. And you post this link for other people to check out too.
Yeah, we're going to put these on the website for people to see.
But yeah, I would just think that would be something that could lead to IT band problems or some little maybe minor injuries. And I would just work on, as a solution, things like hip abduction. So things that are going to move your leg laterally away from your body, lateral band walks, side leg lifts, all that kind of stuff, would be probably a good remedy.
I noticed something. I think he looks fine. I've raced against him. I want him to be slower so I can beat him. Dude is freaking fast, man. Yeah, and he's so much fun to hang out with. So... is he a Waddy team guy? I was like hoping maybe he would send in like a swim video or something. He might be Waddy, I think. I thought he was. Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, we do appreciate Chris, kicking this off. He was the first one to send in something. Like right away. Yeah, he's like, all right, cool, and we have another video. Wait, hold on. I still have a couple more things I want to say about Chris. Oh, we have faults. Okay. Sorry. No, this is good stuff, actually. Okay. So then when he changed the angle and we see him from the side, I thought he looked freaking awesome. Like, he was planting underneath his center of gravity, so he wasn't overextending his lower leg, and his foot was planting right underneath his body, and he had a really good, strong knee drive, and his core was upright and erect, but not excessively to the point where he was almost leaning back, and he had, if you, pause the video when you're watching him, you'll see that perfect slight forward lean where he's just got a really, really good strong forward momentum going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he looked killer there. Yep. That's all I have to say. Yeah. So when we post these videos, that's what we're looking for, people. So check them out. Yeah. Okay. What? All right. So we had a guy from Sweden. Do you know this guy? He's submitted questions to our podcast several times. He's cool. But his name, Par Tornholt, means in Swedish, which is, Viking. I think it means dragon slayer or this guy is awesome. Gorilla killer or something, whatever it is in Swedish. So anyway, then I'm part Swedish, so I get to say these things. I love it. That's how it works. Yeah. And I'm always impressed by those people. I I got a tweet from somebody in Sweden today saying they're trying to train and it's freezing up there. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding? Really?
Shocking.
Shocking. In his videos, he sent in a bunch of videos of him swimming above and below the water, from the side and front and back. Okay, I thought his stroke rate was okay. There didn't seem to be anything like too off about it. But then after a while, looking at the videos, I noticed that his legs were low a little bit in the water, but just a little bit. And then I noticed that his legs would come apart, what looked like vertically apart from each other, like a little bit too much and a little bit too long, right? And I'm like, there's something weird going on here, but I couldn't put my finger on it like at first, right? So so then I decided to kind of start focusing in on the front quadrant, and then kind of see what he was doing. And then after a while, I finally saw something that made more sense, and he was crossing over with his left arm some, right?
Just the left side?
Yeah, his right seemed to be, I think it was his left, and then his other arm seemed to be pretty good, right? And then I put two and two together what was going on here. Something huge that he could work on. And if you're crossing over, a lot of what's going on when you're swimming, when you're doing all kinds of crazy things like crossing over, your arms are going out, really what you're trying to do is balance yourself, right? Because you're not comfortable going in a straight line. Because it's kind of like walking a tightrope if you want to swim really fast, straight. Really good people just go straight, right? But if you're not all that comfortable in the water yet, or you got room to improve, you do a whole lot of sticking your hands out and to get your balance, right? And your legs. So imagine walking a tightrope on one leg or two legs, and you're like you start doing all kinds of stuff sideways, right? Well, sideways is not forward, so that slows you down, especially all the drag that causes by going out sideways. So crossing over, and also when people enter their hands and then kind of push with their hands, they like kind of palm forward a little bit. They're trying to stabilize themselves. They're actually kind of afraid of going too fast and going over the front. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to kind of stay. And also when you drag your feet, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're kind of stabilizing yourself in the water. You've got to not be afraid and just go like over the front and just go straight and go in a straight line. And you're not going to fall off, right? But we have this fear in the water like you're going to fall off the log or something.
Interesting.
But you're already in the water. You're not going to fall anywhere. Just go straight and narrow as much as you possibly can, right? And that's why it's beneficial to do other swim strokes like breaststroke and backstroke and everything. It gets you. The reason those work at making you better at freestyle is because they get you so comfortable in the water, you quit worrying about falling to the side. And so you quit trying to stabilize yourself sideways. Okay, so when his arm starts coming across, when somebody's arms goes out too far to the side or crosses over too far, you'll find that what they're doing, that you have to counterbalance that somewhere else, right? You can't do that and have something else not try to compensate for that, because you're not going in a straight line, you're going sideways. So then I took a closer look at his feet, and if you look in one of the videos, he is scissor kicking and his legs cross over each other.
Which video is that? Because I want to look at it while you're saying this.
Let's see. Let me.
There's like.
Yeah, he sent a bunch of videos, which is good.
They're short, but there's like a lot of them.
Par Tornholt. Door. There it is. Okay, I think I found it. He sent them by Google Drive. No, that's not it. Did he put them on a drive? How did I get them to you? I gave you a link, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. I just searched he sent them Google Drive, and I just have that email that you forwarded to me.
Okay. Which one is it? Probably A0153, maybe? Let me look.
A0153. Okay. This is so awesome. He's got a good stroke.
You can, as he swims off away, you can see his ankles sometimes cross over each other. He kicks wide and then when he brings his legs back together, sometimes his heels will cross over to the other side.
I just paused it in the perfect spot to see that.
Do you see it? Do you see it? I only saw it like maybe in one video. And so what he's doing is he's twisting his lower body, and then to counteract the twisting of his legs crossing over each other, it would be like if I'm sitting in a chair right now and crossing your ankles, right?
Yeah.
So now to counteract that, instead of kicking with his legs side by side, and so swim's formed. Actually, he looks pretty fast. To counteract that, he's having to cross over his arm to unscrew the screwing motion that he's doing with by crossing his legs over.
He's also doing, this is why I think I recognize his name, because he submitted a question to our show about how many kicks should I do per stroke thing.
Yeah, he's a low
and
kicker.
He's doing a low kick, like it's only 2 beats or something like that.
At least a 2 beat.
What are your...
the next video, you can really see it. Oh, it's
2, 3, 5, 4?
5-4. Yeah, you can really see him doing it.
Okay, so what are your thoughts for triathletes, especially since you're a badass swimmer, and how many kicks you should be doing? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Whoa, it's like he's purposely doing it.
It's like he's been doing it so long, and it's reasonably fast. He's really torquing that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So wait, kick-wise, what do you recommend for people?
I recommend that triathletes don't bother with kicking.
So this whole idea of the 2 beat is almost like not
fine.
Because that's going to be your low.
Yeah, don't worry about the kick. It burns up a ton of calories to kick, and you're going to need that on the bike and on the run. And
what about if you're a shitty swimmer like I am and you drag and you want to at least have some buoyancy?
You need to do ankle bands.
I do.
Yeah.
And actually the weird thing is that I can do like over 300 straight with band and paddles.
Yeah.
But I'm still a shitty swimmer.
But just to show you how much it doesn't matter, like the kicking stuff, people that believe in the kicking, hey man, have at it, dude. Kick all you want. But to show you how much it doesn't matter is, I was in high school. I got a swim scholarship, but I never did swim in college. But in high school, I was a state finalist freestyler, sprint freestyler. So swimming as fast as you freaking can. But in swim team practice, we would, they'd give us kickboards and we would do freestyle kicking. I could barely keep up with anybody. I was like the slowest freestyle kicker, right?
Wow.
And I guess you could say, well, if you practice kicking more, that you'd be even faster, during the stuff. I'm just saying, like, that you need to kick enough to get your legs up.
Right. Okay.
And then after that point, it's not the calories you burn. Your arms are propelling you 90% more than your feet. So you're much better off sending those calories to your arms. And
here's another question I wanted to ask you about swimming too, because this has come up on our show. Because I see you tweeting all the time about doing your like hour-long MAF swims or whatever. So do you see a purpose of literally just getting in the pool and swimming an hour nonstop, or maybe stopping like once for?
Just like if you went for a run, would you stop running? You would run for an hour. So why wouldn't you swim for an hour?
Because it seems to me that for most people, your technique is going to break down more quickly, and those rest intervals are going to maybe, even if they're less than a minute, and
you
even if
swim for an hour in an Ironman.
Yeah, but that's different.
The other thing is I look at my watch, my stopwatch on my wrist that's running almost every 100 yards or sometimes every 50 yards, and I try out different things while I'm swimming and see what's faster.
And when you say try out, you don't mean like changing your the actual stroke, but like technique wise, you're like
head a little bit further
you're at a
down.
level where you can do that. So
I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna swim with my head just a little bit more down, right?
I hear you talk about that.
All of a sudden, you're swimming 1 second faster per 100, right? You're like, holy crap! And then you're like, well, I want to prove that that's what it really was. So with my head back where it was, you slow down by 1 second per 100. You're like, wow, okay, I'm going to bring my arm in a little bit to that more out. Maybe I'm crossing over with my left arm.
Yeah.
I'm going to do less of a deep catch. I'm going to push more with my tricep and my hand back at my hip instead of a deep catch. Is this faster or slower? And so if you swim just a constant pace and every 50 yards you look at your watch and you can tell. I know in this one pool I swim, it's weird. It's like 26-meter pool, and every 50 is, I'm trying to remember, 49 seconds or something like that. 48 seconds, right? And so I'm like, well, if all of a sudden I start swimming in 47 seconds, I'm doing something I want to keep. You know?
Interesting.
So,
okay, so that also maybe I'm going to send you a video of me, and that's going to be our next analysis. Okay. Let you tear apart my stroke.
So this guy, Tor Hawkinson, needs...
See, this is why people want us to cover their race, because we're going to say... Listen, we're going to use our vocabulary.
Okay, yeah, right. But one, this guy is a fast swimmer. I'm being funny. I'm not teasing him because he already looks like plenty fast. Like, he looks like he's a decent swimmer, right?
I'm like, his stroke and his catch and pull looks
nice.
Great. His head position in the water.
Oh yeah, his head position is awesome. That's the very first thing I noticed. Was like, wow.
Because if your head's off, your whole body's going to be off. You're going to be like arching your back, and you're going to drag more and all that kind of junk.
But his legs look a little bit low, and his feet are crossing over, and there's a cure for that. The cure for that is the ankle bands. What I've noticed when swimming with ankle bands, because they make you keep your legs side by side, it fixed on me a thing where I kick out to the side with my right foot every once in a while, like too far out. That it fixed that for me. So I'm thinking ankle bands with him will both get his legs up. It'll teach him to get his legs up, and it'll also keep his feet from doing this scissoring, this reverse scissor, whatever you would call it. And then once he gets those
inverted
legs,
scissor.
Sounds like a diving move. So when he gets that under control, he's going to wonder what to do with his left arm that's crossing over now, right? Because he's not going to need it to cross over to counterbalance his feet doing that what do you call it, inverted scissor?
Inverted scissor, baby.
Inverted scissor. And now, okay, I just read this morning. It was really cool. If you want your arm to enter, if you're in his case, his arm's crossing over, right? You try to enter, I think it's with your pinky down more.
Yes, I just was told that exact thing last week by someone.
Yeah, and when you pull, it'll actually force your hand out to the side a little bit, right?
And the opposite, like if you enter with your index finger pointed in, not only is that going to be shitty for your stroke, but then you're looking at totally getting some like bicep impingement issues right there. Like that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
And then if your hand enters too wide, then you want to do and try to enter with your index finger a little bit more, but you need to be careful, not. But
that's usually not the problem.
Yeah, it's
most
usually
people are crossing over. Yeah.
How about that? That's pretty cool, huh? So he needs to enter with his pinky a little bit more on his left arm, and remember to not bring his hand across. It needs to be in line with his shoulders, not with his head. Your shoulders are apparently, if you enter them in line with your shoulders, that's the fastest.
So if you look at the very last video of the out of water, when the camera's out of the water, what exactly you're talking about, his left arm and how it crosses over, like just like the very last 5 seconds of the video, you can see it so apparently, the left side especially.
Okay, I'm going to watch it real quick. Go.
Great coverage too, between Chris and Parr, getting really good angles. Wait, is it Parr?
Man, this guy, that's another thing I want to say. He is such a good head-down swimmer. Do you know he's just swam all the way across the pool? Did you ever see him breathe? Watch it again. He's breathing. But he is so good at not popping his head up, you never see him, you never actually see his face come out of the water.
Oh, yeah, you're right, huh?
Isn't that impressive?
Yeah. Looks like
He's going fast enough that when he turns his head to the side, it creates a pocket down by his face, and he just breathes out of that pocket. Just if you take your flat hand and push it through water, you'll notice a pocket gets generated behind your hand, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you push your big fat melon head through the water, you'll create a pocket on either side of your head, right? And
you have to go fast enough, though.
You have to go fast enough, but you create a pocket, and then so all you have to do is just turn your head a little bit, and there's a pocket of air right there. It's so cool. Once you learn to do that. So I teach people, you should have, when you breathe, you should have only one eye above the water line.
Yeah, that's why sidekick drill is the best to, if you're having trouble with that one. That drill is really good to figure out what your body alignment is and where your head is going to.
Yeah, with his video, I was like, okay, well, now I need to cover, like, I need to double check. Like, usually people look up at the sky too much while they're breathing and stuff. And I said, well, I need to find a clip of him breathing. And I watched all of them. I couldn't find one of him breathing.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's really cool. People need to see that, his head position.
Yeah.
The smoothness. He's going really fast. He doesn't look like
he reminds me of the guy on swimsmooth.com.
Yeah. He's a very, very, that guy.
I think he just wanted to send his video so we would see,
He still found something wrong with it.
Great he is.
He found something. And, but people need to see this because this is how you can swim really relaxed, yet pretty fast. And imagine you swim like an hour plus, or whatever it takes them to do an Ironman like this. You get out of the water feeling fine and ready to bike and run, and you're not exhausted.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, he looks so relaxed. It looks comfortable. It doesn't look like he's flailing. And the other thing, too, this is one that I see when I do video analysis with people, is that the inefficient swimmers are creating massive amounts of bubbles and chaos in the water. But Parr is just kind of gliding through, right. And you see so much of him, you don't see like all this bubble like cloudiness being created.
The coolest thing is any swimmer that swims like this, it creates an illusion where it looks like they're not going very fast.
Yeah.
Because there's none of this white froth going on of them fighting the water. He's actually just sliding through it. It's really cool.
Sliding through.
Yeah.
Cool,
That's
man.
all I've got for today.
Yeah, I actually have to get going to my boot camp for these lunchtime folks who want to get their butt kicked. And it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, this is fun. I like doing it.
I love it too. I am just a podcast.
You are. You're going crazy. Does it tire you out? Are you worried you're doing too much or anything? 4th
recording this week that's been over an hour long. With all guys. That's the other thing, too. I'm always just talking to dudes.
Maybe you're just doing this podcasting thing just to talk to dudes.
Dude.
Hey, what kind of cars does your boyfriend... I almost said your husband. Oh, your
does he drive?
Yeah, what does he race?
They do sports car racing, and they do endurance stuff. So they're doing it on a very life-friendly budget. I mean, if they had it their way, they would definitely have nicer cars, but, it's not a cheap thing. So they have their particular car is a Mazda Miata.
That's a really popular one for that.
Yeah. When we go to a lot of the races, like, they're pretty much 50% of the cars out there are Miatas.
Yeah, because you can really power those up.
But it's cool because they do it endurance wise too. So he's like his longest race is 25 hours.
Ouch! Yeah,
and he doesn't race. They have like about four drivers that rotate throughout, and it's so much fun. I've gone every year that he and I.
They go through a set of how fast do they go through a set of tires? Like how many miles?
I don't know.
Do they have to change tires during the race?
Oh yeah, for sure. But the great thing about like the way John is, and he has this approach with triathlon too. I mean, he is so into looking at like where can we maximize time. Like, so we may not have the fastest car, but if we can have the fastest pit stops and the ability to change tires the fastest, I mean, we can compete with the guys who have better engines and everything, and they totally have that down.
How much horsepower does a car put out? You gotta find out. I love this stuff. That's so cool.
I don't know any of the technical stuff, but I probably should. But no, it's a really cool thing because then I definitely know he carries that over into triathlon, and like he's always looking at like transition times and like comparing his transition times. Yeah, it totally is. It makes so much sense. Yeah. So, anyways, good stuff.
Okay, well, cool. I'll let you go.
Yeah, if I don't talk to you again, or maybe I don't know, but just thinking of you in your final week and a half or so before your big day.
I hope I don't mess. Listen, everybody. Just because I swam fast once in my life doesn't mean I want to work out that. I don't want to work out that hard anymore.
Don't start making excuses already.
No, like I don't. When I first started doing triathlon, I started doing like really, I've really focused on the swim. It was really fast in the swim, and like I don't train anywhere near as hard as I used to because my problem, I got to work on the bike. I got to save my energy for the bike.
Well,
so I don't put out the awesome swim times that I want to, but I've got to work on the bike and the run more. It's more of the time,
It's all about the run, baby.
Yeah, it ends up all being about the run. So.
All right, cool, man.
Okay.
Well, you have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
All right, later. Bye. All right, we're back. Thanks, Tawnee. Man, recording with her is so much fun. All right, I promised that we would talk on this podcast about happiness. Let's do that. Happiness. The secret to happiness. So I was reading an article on Lifehacker, and I'll go ahead and put the link to that on ZenTriathlon.com. You can go check that out. But the gist is this. Basically, there's a difference between feeling good and being happy. You would think they're the same thing, but they're actually not. Being happy is more about having something to work on and work towards, something that is a big goal. And while you're working on that, it may feel like it's a struggle, but you actually enjoy the struggle. And then when it's over, you look back and then say, you're more fulfilled, you've accomplished something. So that would be like a marathon, right? Training for a marathon is probably not all that much fun for people unless they're already really good at it, right? It's a lot of struggle. And then when you do the race, it's really, really hard. But then when you finish, you feel great because you realize all this work that you put in to realize your full self and what you can do if you really try, right? And then the opposite is eating a chocolate cake or any kind of cake that you like. It feels good, right? But only pretty much the moments that you're eating it. Who has sat down and ate an entire cake or an entire pizza, and then when you're done, you feel good about yourself? or you're happy that you did that. You're not. You're actually mad at yourself that you did that. And remember, I was saying that there's a difference between happiness and feeling good. So the feeling good is very short term. It's it takes you over if you let it, and then leads you down a path of doing stuff that in the end will not make you happy. So triathlons are a really good example of happiness because you're constantly improving yourself. In fact, it's a threefold path to happiness in that there's, improving the swim, improving the bike, improving the run, and then trying to figure out how to do, get better at all three of those sports. And then it's a ninefold path because then it's 3 times 3 because you're trying to get better at the swim while not getting worse at the run, or better at the bike while not getting worse at the swim, and then trying to get better at all three all at once. And then there's like trying to fit it in with family, and it's like it's a 1,000-year project because it's almost unconquerable. And by the time you get really good at it, there's people who get good at it and then go to Kona, for example, for years. And then they get tired of it, They're like, oh, I've got it figured out. It's not a challenge anymore. And then they quit. Ben Greenfield, right, has figured out how to train on like 12 hours a week, been to Kona a few times. And then after a while, he's kind of like, well, I'm done with this. It's not a challenge anymore. And I think I would be the same way. Once you get really good at something, it's not a challenge anymore. So you got to move on. You want to stay happy, so you find something else that challenges you. And that's where true happiness comes from, instead of just feeling good. You can take this knowledge and engineer your life to be constantly giving yourself little challenges kind of here and there of things that are somewhat of a struggle. And then, I can think of a really good one. I'll tell you in a second. And then, but in the end, when you actually execute, it shows that you were tough and that you persevered and you overcame something. So a really good example would be this heat training that I'm doing, right? I'm making myself very uncomfortable trying to get heat adapted so that race day is not that bad. Now, let's say I do it. So I've got, dozens of episodes of being really uncomfortable in the heat. That does not feel good. And then the race day itself, being in the heat, that does not feel good. But let's say, let's say that I can tell during and after the race that it had an effect. Then I am very, very happy. I've reached true happiness in that I did something, I worked hard at something, and I had an impact. And that feels so good inside that I was able to overcome something. I wonder if what it's doing is confirming, this is, in your core, that you were able to work to overcome something, so you feel more self-confident, and that's happiness. And then true self-confidence is happiness. And then because you know that in the future when something else comes up that's difficult, that you're going to be able to overcome that as well with some work. And now you're not afraid anymore, and not being afraid is true happiness as well. So look for those things in life, and that's pretty much it. That's your happiness right there. That's all there is to it. And I said, it's not easy. It is hard work. And now that now you just got to follow through with the path. All right, we'll come back in just a moment with some more info and the training log and some donation news and sponsor stuff and things like that. We're going to Houston to watch Kai be in a bike race, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll have some audio from that. And okay, hold on, out, bing. All right, I'm back. I had to help get all the blankets and stuff off the trampoline. We slept as a family on top of the trampoline last night out in the yard for Mother's Day, and it was actually great weather and really humid though. And we got 2 dogs, Greyhound and a Black Lab, and the Greyhound just barked all for like an hour at anything and everything. And then we put her back inside, and then the cat's inside meowing at us. He wants to come outside. And then the Black Lab, which is actually the loudest barker, labs are so clingy and lovey and whatever. He hopped up on the trampoline with us and then slept up there and was dead quiet the whole night. And you could lay on him like he was a big pillow. It was really cool. Anyway, that is our family life at the moment. Okay, let's do sponsors and donations. Let's do donations first. We got a couple of things in here to mention. Okay, so you can go to ZenTriathlon.com and donate. I'll tell you how in a minute. Jason Drury, he has another question. He had a question on the last podcast. He says you mentioned that if you donate, you can I'll answer your questions on the show, which is really cool. He said, you mentioned that you've been swimming with a handkerchief tied around your ankles. That's right. So you go swim in the pool, grab a handkerchief, wrap it up kind of like a, fold it over and make it so that you can tie it around your ankles and tie it pretty tight and in a square knot, and then swim like that, and it drags your legs behind you, and it forces you to swim harder, and also forces you to swim with your head down. Well, I guess if you don't know this, this is maybe why he's having trouble. If you swim with your head down, it helps you get your feet up. And he said, I tried this yesterday and could not keep my feet from sinking. I can swim with a pull buoy between my thighs or ankles just fine. Any tips on how to swim with something tied around my ankles? Yeah. The problem is you need to swim with your head down, swim downhill with your upper body, and learn to let your legs come up in response. And that's the whole point. The extra benefit is it's an extra workout for your arms, but it really does teach you if you swim downhill, your legs start to come up. And hey, man, I thought the first time that I did it that I would just, I swim all the time, so I figured I'd be pretty good at it. Man, I sucked at first. It took me about 2 or 3 sessions before I got any good at it. And now I've done it enough times where it's kind of like riding no hands, At first it seems impossible, and then after a while you keep trying, and then you get it. And then now I just do it as a reminder of what it feels like trying to get your legs up. So, and Jason Drury helped donate to Kai's bike fund. So thanks a lot. Kai's actually riding in circles. I'm recording out of my car because it's a nice recording studio. And Kai's riding in circles around me right now on his bike. All right. He loves it. We went for a family ride, just he and I, a father-son ride around the neighborhood looking for snakes and anything that we could find that was cool, and to his elementary school, and he's riding over. Dude, he can do crazy crap on this mountain bike already. So it's really, really cool. It's a specialized Hot Rock 24-inch, which is actually, it's a decent mountain bike. It definitely does everything that you need. It's a full-blown mountain bike, and it's lightweight. It's an aluminum frame, so it's actually not too heavy. And suspension fork, 7 speeds, which is enough for a little kid, a 9-year-old. So, let's see. We have another one, Daniel Blondin. He says, "Hey Brett, good show. Always get a lot out of your info. Love the guest try news segments." His backstory: he's 61 years old guy in Chicago. Chicago, man! I lived there 2 summers. My brother still lives there, and my dad lived there for a while. Runner. I lived out in Hoffman Estates, and also spent time at, I think it's called Crystal Lake, out there way out in the suburbs. Runner for about 20 years, picked up tries in 2012, doing Ironman Wisconsin in 2012 and 2013. I've done that. That's a great race. Swim is the weakest sport, can get it done, just slow. Nutrition is also a challenge. Yeah, it is a challenge, man. Both Ironmans, I had GI issues on the run. Trying the Vinnie Tortorich no sugar, no grains plan. Okay. Mine is more of a low sugar, low grain. LSLG. L equals less. Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't say no. I would just say less. Back to marathons and doing shorter tries this year. Plan to do Arizona Ironman in 2015. Cool. And lots of questions, but just one for now. At the beginning of training, at the beginning of the training log, a woman says something like, "Fernelli." What in the world does that mean? Well, that's Hunelli. At one point during the podcast, my friends and I, years ago, would say Hunelli, and it's just like yeehaw, and that got recorded in there, and now it's stuck. I'd have to do just tons of audio editing to fix that, or to change it. It's fine as it is. Okay, now you know. But on the the no sugar, no grains versus low sugar, low grains, the issue there is it's not a good idea to just say no to something like that, nutrition. You want to, people will say, well, they quit eating meat, or they quit eating dairy, or they quit eating, I don't know, veggies, I don't know, whatever they've quit eating, and then like, and I lost weight. Well, really what you've done is you've eliminated a whole lot of calories that you're used to eating, and then you're not used to finding those calories somewhere else, so you're just starving yourself a little bit, and that's why you're losing your weight. So it has really not that much to do with the nutrition side of it. It's more of a calorie thing. And really what's smarter is to eat a balanced diet and bring your overall calorie count down. And yeah, like look for things that are bad for you, like the sugars and the grains. Wait, hold on a second. All right, I had to yell at people to quit coming into the car. I'm trying to record this one last bit, and Emily and Kai are trying to load the car to go to this bike race. Okay, Melissa Boudreau is a donor, and let's see, she's a subscription donor. You can go to ZenTriathlon.com and donate as a subscription. Christopher Allen, same thing. Thanks, Chris. Dwayne Morin, longtime donor. And then we have 2 specific donation to Kai's bike. Sean Harrington and Clint Blackham. And Clint had a really nice note, and now I can't find it. But yeah, man, we've got Kai's bike. We're all wrapped up. He's a sponsored triathlete, sponsored by the donors and the show fans to ZenTri. So it's because of you that he has got himself a kick butt mountain bike. We'll talk about it a ton. It's a really, really, really smart purchase that helps the family do more family stuff. And it was a very smart bike for him. It was time. It was great. So it's a real accomplishment for everybody to pitch in and get this done. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the training log. Lots of stuff going on here. Lots of heat training, lots of intensity, lots of intervals, lots of resting, lots of figuring stuff out. Lots of tips in here that you might be able to use in your own training. That's why I record it. It's not really about me. It's about me figuring out stuff that I can tell you. And you can either use it or lose it, whatever you want. All right, that's it. Let's get started with the training log. Here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new training log. May 3rd. I'm at a neighborhood pool. I was worried it would be too cold. It's Saturday morning. I'm having trouble talking because my jaw doesn't want to move because it was so cold. Had a little cold snap come through Texas past few days. And it dropped the temperature of this pool down to about 60. It's probably about 68 or 69. I've learned my lesson with this a few weeks ago. Since I'm here, I swam, but I cut it short, man. Well, actually what I did is I cut my warm-up short. I was fine until I got in. There's no wind. It's a sunny day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's 7:30 in the morning, so it's beautiful. That's a water fountain in a pond next to the pool. I think that you might be able to hear. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Well, maybe not. But anyway, as soon as I hopped in the water and started swimming, within seconds, I felt like I was gonna throw up. And that's from the cold. I'm trying to warm up right now in the sun. So I think I only warmed up for about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. And then I was like, man, you gotta freeze to death. And my body does not like cold water swimming at all. And I remember swimming with Jamie Patrick in the marina or whatever it's called in San Francisco Bay. And I got in. I thought I was going to throw up. I had to get out of I was wearing a wetsuit and like 3 swim caps. For real, I was. I had to get out of the water and go lean against a building and try not to throw up. Oh my God. But anyway, so once I felt like I was warmed up enough, I threw the leg band around my ankles and swam an interval like that. Kind of what I'd call a progression interval. Just slowly start speeding up, and over a few minutes, I think it was about 5 minutes, and you're maxing out. It's gradual. You can feel the burn coming on slowly, and then I stopped once I felt like that was enough, and then took off for a leg band. I'm just using a handkerchief tied around my ankle, and then swam for a few minutes easy to recover, and then repeated the progression interval again until, but without anything. The leg band teaches you to get your legs up, or else they'll drag across the bottom of the pool. So I did it with I did 2 more intervals, progression intervals of like 4 minutes, 5 minutes of going harder and harder and harder and harder until you pop, pretty much. Your body just gives out. And they're nice. They teach you pacing, you know. They're teaching you how to slowly increase your speed. So now you've got infinite gears. A lot of people that have no gears in swimming or running. They only have one speed. Well, two speeds. 0 and all out. They don't even have an all out though. They just have a go. And with a progression interval, you're slowly increasing the speed, and you're learning that you have all these different gears, 15 different gears to choose from as you slowly speed up. And you can feel the burn starting to come on, and you decide if you want to keep going faster and faster. And so I did 2 more of those without anything, just regular hands and kicking. And those end up being really, really nice. And then I decided I was done and got out. So just over half an hour. But the burn feels really good. The coolest thing is doing intervals on the run, for me, really peaks out my VO2 max. Like, I'm going super, super whoa, I got hay fever. When I do run intervals, I go super in the overdrive, and that just stretches the hell out of my lungs. Probably does for you too. And I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm freaking dying. Oh my God. And so what's cool is on the bike and on the swim, I've noticed that I just don't run out of air. You know, I'm not gasping for air at all like I used to years ago. And I think I'm pretty sure that's run training really blasting out the lungs, and so that they have just incredible capacity to so that when you swim, it's not an issue. And that's just more of the beauty of triathlon, that the sports complement each other. If you train right, you know, your swimming can help your biking, and your running. Well, your swimming can help your running because it rehabs your legs really nicely. Your running can help your swimming because it builds up lung potential like crazy. Your biking can help your brain because you get to go cruise around the neighborhood. Wow. Oh, there's some turtles by the edge of the pond. All right. I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about in this training log, so we'll get there in just a minute. I'm going to go seize out. Okay, I'm here in the car with Kai on your way to the soccer game. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
And I had the heat on high. I'm heat training for Ironman Texas. Kai, how hot was it?
Very hot.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
All of a sudden, I wasn't even thinking about it. And Kai goes, "What did you say, Kai? Like, turn it down. It is too hot."
Yeah.
That's it? Okay. Are you going to be all right for your soccer game?
Yes.
All right. Did you think you were going to die?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not that, like, you're really tough, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. It's Saturday evening. Holy cow, I'm toasted. And but in a good way. And a lot happened today, so I wanted to cover it real quick. We are now 2 weeks out from Ironman Texas. And let's see, I did an 80-mile, I did a 4-hour bike ride. So I swam this morning, but I did the intervals, and that's the stuff that makes you stronger anyway, so that's what counts. And then cut it short after that. I remember my sneezing fit, and man, I sneezed for a long time after that. Went and watched Kai's soccer game. They got crushed. by another team, and that was interesting watching how people, react to winning versus losing, and watching the two teams, side by side, and the kids that win are like, yeah, and the other kids that are losing start arguing with each other, accusing each other of things, and it's pretty wild. But then we went and picked up Kai's bike, and somebody on Slow Twitch asked if we still owe money on it. And yes, we do. We owe a little bit more money on it, but we got it anyway because I want Kai to spend the day with me tomorrow. And I want to go running, and I can go trail running, and he can ride his mountain bike. So we went ahead and picked it up. And although it stretched us to the limit of our credit cards to American Express, which is not exactly a credit card. And so donations are still greatly appreciated to help pay off the rest of it. And then, let's see. Oh, so then after Kai's soccer game, I rearranged things. Usually I'd go for a bike ride in the morning, but I wanted to see Kai's soccer game and be there for him. So I wanted to get in heat training. So I did my bike ride in the middle of the afternoon. So on this 4-hour bike ride, I started around 2:30 or so, and right in the starting to get to be the hottest part of the day. And about an hour into it, I looked after I downloaded my workout from the Sunto Ambit 2, and it has a nice temperature graph on the workout readouts, and it was 93, maybe 94. I think it was 93 degrees at least. That was the peak of the heat, and it's a dry heat, so it wasn't humidity. So I wore a really cool shirt that I bought when I was in San Diego last summer. It's kind of like a tight-fitting Under Armour kind of shirt, but it's made out of it's half cotton and half bamboo. So, and it's a little stretchy, so a little bit wicks nicely. It was black for extra heat. I wore it, and it fits relatively nicely for a cotton shirt. So, cotton and bamboo. So it's actually a slim fit, and hugged me pretty tightly, relatively tightly. So I wore that, and this is the second ride in a row, long ride, where I brought a Camelback with me so I could carry more water. And it's a 70-ounce Camelback. So I got the water bottle between the bars, X-Lab Torpedo, between the arms, and then this Camelback. And I almost finished both of those, and that's a lot of water in 2 hours. And I probably would have finished it in 2.5, 2:45. So really going through a ton of water. And the bike ride went really well. I actually decreased my effort a bit, and was still putting out numbers that were the same or better, like watts wise, on a lot of it, that as my last long bike ride. And what I'm doing is the Sammy Inkinen method, the Sammy Part 2, is, this is just supposed to be a nice long casual bike ride. I'm not quite there yet where I feel like I can just totally let go and like not work at all. So I'm kind of going, but I've decreased the effort probably, I'd say 10% from what I was doing before for my 4-hour bike ride. But the watts were nearly the same, so I'm getting stronger. So with less effort, a week ago this ride was 220 watts, and this week it was 218. So with a lot less effort, I was putting out almost identical amount of watts. And this is really interesting, is the the interval work on the bike is making my legs stronger. So when I was going uphill, I felt much, much, much more in control of what I was doing and how much effort I was putting down. I had something to relate it to. I was like, well, I know what my max is doing this stuff, and I'm nowhere near that, so I can do this, you know. So and then also, I believe, it's all my perception, I believe I'm a lot stronger, or not a lot, but I'm somewhat stronger, and so climbing up the hills was just easier, you know, and I just had, just more control, and knew what I was doing. I did something different on the fueling, and it led to a problem. Oh, let me close this door more. That I wanted to mention. In my fuel bottle, I was doing maltodextrin and honey and thermotabs, which is salt pills. And my past 2 rides, which have been pretty good on the fueling, I've what have I put in there? Oh, a Folgers instant coffee for caffeine. And this time we didn't have any, so I put in a like a Vibrant. It was some off-brand, and that made my stomach hurt really, really badly. So that is a no-go, and that's one of the reasons actually that my power was lower. I felt like if there was times where I had to quit eating and let my stomach settle, and then I would kind of get in not a bad mood, but kind of a questionable mood, and my heart rate would drop a little bit. Oh, that was another thing. So if I hadn't have done that, then and that explains then I would have had an even better bike ride. And heat wasn't a problem at all. I started off with just tons of sunscreen on, and I stopped at 2 hours in and put on more, which would be around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I put on even more. And I'll smear it on to the point of where you can still kind of tell I'm covered in white stuff. It's basically the white, and a lot of sunscreens is titanium dioxide, or it used to be. And that's actually what's blocking the sun. So it's covered in titanium. But when you see the lifeguard with the stripe on their nose, that's titanium dioxide is the main ingredient. And so they make it runnier and thinner and put it in the sunscreen. And you see, the heat didn't seem to be a problem at all. I was going to practice splashing myself with water, and didn't, because I wanted to. I was like, well, I don't want to cool off. I want to keep training. The heat was just the perfect temperature for heat training. It was uncomfortable, but not terrible, you know. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, something really interesting was my heart rate. So when you train too much, just too much volume, you have trouble getting your heart rate up because you're just exhausted all the time. And I went out on this bike ride, and my one thing I noticed that was really unusual is right from the start, my heart rate was like 140, and I'm like, man, that's really high for me. That's race high. That's like I've been tapering, you know. And tapering for a long time, and now I'm racing, and now my heart rate's really high. And I mean, not really, really high, but just, you know, as high it is in a race after you stopped training, you've been tapering for a while, and you're ready to go. And I'm like, man, this is really fascinating. I'm not sure, you know, how good or bad it is. It seems to be good. If you want to put a positive spin on it, that means that I'm rested, you know, and then, so when I do a hard workout, I'm actually able to do it well, and absorb it. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Instead of being just, you know, wiped out and just barely able to execute. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention was my past long rides for years, for training, I feel like just tattered and torn, man. And I'm like just trying to hang on and pushing really hard to get decent numbers. And this was my first long ride in forever where I've ridden this long. And then when I finished, or during the ride, I felt like I was working out. I was getting a workout in instead of just wondering, how I was going to survive this thing. You know what I mean? It's like a totally different, instead of being frantic and clinging on and hoping for the best, this was like an actual workout. And then, so what was weird was I felt like I was absorbing the work. When I was done, I was like, man, that was a good workout. That wasn't numbers that I was trying to make happen. That was an actual workout. And when I was done, I was definitely tired. It was a freaking 4-hour bike ride, but I felt like it was something that my body was gonna like take. And because my body wasn't all beat up, it was going to take it and actually do something with it instead of just, instead of just going, oh, more, And yeah, that was a very different feeling. I could see that, the huge reduction in volume, but still doing the interval stuff. I'm still just as, I think I was saying this earlier. I'm doing, nearly half the volume I was doing before. I feel just as sore. I've got a whole lot more free time, but I feel just as sore because the interval stuff. But again, I'm now figuring out, like how much of the interval stuff to do so that I go into a workout like today, feeling ready to take it on and use it to improve myself instead of just more digging a hole and falling into it. So, on tap for tomorrow is a run and kind of a longer run. We'll see. And to take Kai with me mountain biking, and we'll get that done. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in the stomach issue, but I was proud of myself for realizing instantly that there was a stomach issue, figuring out what it was. I mean, like within a minute, and then drinking tons of water to dilute it, and then overcoming it. And I felt better at the end of the bike ride after it went away. It happened to me twice, actually. So I felt better twice. And so it's a sign that I was plenty fit and ready to do the work. It was actually nutrition that was kind of bogging me down. It was making me just feel sick, Oh, and so Wildflower and St. George went down today, and that was pretty cool to watch and try to follow. So, who won those? Man, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm tired. Yeah, I feel Jesse Thomas won. Heather Jackson and Jesse Thomas won Wildflower, and Heather Whirl won St. George, and Jan Frodeno won St. George, I think. Anyway, yeah, like I feel like wiped out from the bike ride. Not wiped out. I feel my legs were kind of sore when I was getting off, and I need to eat, and I'm tired. But at the same time, I don't feel worried that I'm going to be a complete wreck tomorrow. Well, we'll find out. I may be like, oh, But the other thing is I'm glad that I'm learning to pull back a little bit on these long rides and I'm getting better at this as we go along, and hopefully it works for Ironman Texas. But it was time to start tapering anyway. I'm not that worried about Ironman Texas. It was time to start tapering. I was doing huge volume, and it was getting kind of old and getting to be a problem, actually. And I was just done with it, so moved to this instead. All right, more in the morning. Out, bang. All right, I'm here with Kai. This is not a coaching moment, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Why not? What's going on? You're just tired?
Yeah.
We just went trail running for 90 minutes at Lick Creek Park. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And Kai rode his new mountain bike for the first time on real trails, on a real mountain bike, a real mountain bike. So how was it?
Good.
What was it like? Were you able to... You didn't have to stop and all that sand and stuff like usual, right?
Right.
You just keep standing next to your bike and walking away from it and staring at it and going, man, that's a pretty bike, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. What do you think about your bike? About what it looks like?
It's cool.
What's cool about it?
That you can shift and
Climb up stuff easier?
yeah.
Keep up with me like no problem?
Mm-hmm.
This is our first time where you've never had to yell at me, Daddy, why did you leave me? Like that, like you usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So, trail running. So yesterday was a 4-hour bike ride and in the heat, as I was mentioning earlier, and I could tell, today I woke up and weighed myself and I'd lost 2 pounds, which is too much. 2 pounds too much. And I've been trying to rehydrate. And what else have I been trying to do, Kai? Oh, eat. And I would have eaten some ice cream last night, but we ran out. So I don't think I ate enough. So running today, I'm a little bit off because I'm a little worn out from, I didn't recover correctly enough. Recovered some. I've definitely recovered worse. So trying to hydrate and eat, and then ran for 50 minutes really easy, and then started mixing in some intervals. And the intervals were useful, but they weren't as good as I wanted because I was running out of energy. That is really gross, Kai. Are you spitting your water back into your water bottle? That's pretty nasty, dude. Anyway, I've noticed that... How was that?
Good.
I've noticed that if I haven't eaten enough food lately, then I have to pee a few times when starting to work out, and that's a sign of low blood sugar. You need to eat more. And so I had that today, and I'm like, I should have eaten more. Along with, I should have eaten more post-workout instead of just eating normal, So we got to go home. I got to do some coaching. Oh, we got to drive by that new pool. What do you say about that? Are you trying to fit the whole Camelback bottle in your mouth?
No.
I promised we wouldn't eat or drink on this episode, and here you are. That is really nasty, dude. Are you spitting the water back in? and then drinking it? You are? Oh, yeah, because the water level hasn't changed at all, dude. You've been doing this, it's the same amount of water. Oh, man, that's got to be like half spit. You and your knobby knees. All right, we got to get out of here. Out. Bang. All right, I am back. It's actually been a couple days, few days, I don't know. It's, what day is today? Tuesday. Leaving Freebirds. I managed to get a really delicious burrito out of them. I'm starting to wonder, does habanero sauce count as heat training? Because, holy crap, that's, that person almost backed into me. Holy crap, that stuff's hot. Anyway, and then I think I just saw another truck back into somebody and smash the front end of their car. In Texas, we have giant truck syndrome, GTS, where everybody has to have not only a full-size pickup, but it also needs to be taken to a mechanic where they lift it and then they put extra large tires on it. But then all they do apparently is drive it up and down the highway, from all I could tell. So, the guy got out of the truck and walked kind of like an ape, into the GNC to go get all of his supplements for weightlifting. And I'm like, yeah, I remember when I used to do all that. I used to think that just being huge was the answer to everything. But then you kind of run out of, okay, now I got all these muscles. What do I do with them? Right? And then getting into triathlon, it's like, okay, now I'm racing with them. I'm competing against other people with what I can do with my strength or my fitness. It's totally different. I like it. But I digress. Let's see. We have been doing intervals and rest days and intervals, and I am really, really excited in figuring out, gradually figuring out the level of intensity of an interval and how to do them correctly for me. And then it's kind of hard to describe the rest time, the additional rest time, and doing quality instead of quantity. It lets you observe, it gives you the opportunity to observe how much of an impact a workout has on you. Okay, so let's say I go out and do a hard run, right? And then I rest for a couple of days. Over that next couple of days, I'll be able to tell, if that hard run was too much, because I try to go run again and it hurts, right? And I can finally tell when it wears off and when I can go run hard again. Well, by taking the breaks, I'm behind somebody really slow. Okay, you're turning into the turn lane. You're getting on the freeway at 12 miles an hour. Go! I can tell with the added rest, the time, the space in between the workouts is giving me the ability to see the impact the workout is having. Wow, this car almost hit somebody. You are not good at the driving. Okay. And please don't hit those construction workers. Sorry, everybody. It's totally squirrel moments. Now, let's say I did... and because I paid really close attention and I documented how hard I went during the workouts, or during that run workout or during that bike workout, like how many watts over how many minutes total. Oh, and I did something really cool. I'll tell you in a minute. I know the work that I did, and then now I can see with the space afterwards how long it takes me to recover. And knowing these things, I can be like, okay, Brett needs, if he works this hard, he needs this much recovery time to work out from it. Let's lessen the load the intervals and the length of the intervals a little bit, so that we're not as sore afterwards and can get back to training sooner in a way that actually improves me instead of just keeps tearing me down. Now, if you just keep training and training and training, run in the morning, run in the evening, bike at lunch, blah, 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 you're kind of ruining your ability to see what impact a workout has. And this morning I did something really cool. The Sunto Ambit, you're allowed to create your own apps on the watch. So you can download apps and load them in there. Like you can assume how many calories in a beer, and it'll tell you how many beers that you've run. Things like that. That's a really fun one. It'll tell you how many miles are left in an event of your choice. Like, it's really cool. They have a little app store in there. They're all free. And I wrote one that maybe I ought to tell more people about it, that will tell you how many minutes, how many seconds, and then it rolls over into minutes and hours, you've spent above a certain wattage. And I've written another one a while back that'll tell you how many seconds, minutes, hours, whatever, in a workout you've spent over a certain heart rate. You got to plug in the heart rate or the watts. So I'm wanting to know if my threshold is 280 watts. I want to know how much time I'm above that threshold during a workout. And once I hit a certain time, I can say, okay, I'm done. You know, like you're done going hard. That's really cool. I just loaded it into my watch this morning. I've got one for a time above heart rate already, and I know it works. And I'm actually really happy about that. I'm probably going to use it tonight. I got bike intervals tonight. And I think there was something else, but now I can't remember what it is, and I'll get back to you all in a bit. Out. Oh, by the way, I'm still driving around with the heat in my car on full blast. Oh, and I swam this morning in the neighborhood pool, and it was freaking freezing, man. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. I've modified my workouts to do the interval work, the really high quality stuff, in a way where I'm pretty much the first 20 to 25 minutes is just cruising along easy, holding back as much as you can possibly stand. And the more I do this, and the more interval work I do with as I zero in on how much is appropriate, right? And actually, it's less than I want, and it's allowing me to recover enough so that when I go out and go out and start a workout. After 20, 25 minutes in, I am just amped to do intervals again. And so I can start off my workout really relaxed and loose and feeling fine instead of feeling like crap and trying to make things work. And another thing I've noticed is I'm able now to go train for an hour, like we're supposed to be able to do, hour and a half, and not need any fuel at all. And it's so nice. The really nice long casual warm up with no agenda whatsoever. It does something with your metabolism where it allows your systems to come online. I think if you start off too fast, too early, then your body has to burn excess calories because it's really inefficient at that point, right? This makes total sense. It's very inefficient because it hasn't warmed up. It's like an engine, and it's wasting fuel left and right to try to make things happen, and so then you need all kinds of extra fuel during your workout to compensate for this, right? And that messes up your metabolism and all kinds of crap. So, all right, that's what's happened lately. Oh my God, I'm dying in this car. It's so hot. Oh. All right, just finished a killer swim, leaving the pool, And also got some awesome stuff to tell you about working out last night. Really cool workout. But I can't talk about it right now because I promised a listener that I wouldn't eat on the show, and I need to eat right now. So you're going to have to wait. I'm going to eat a Kind bar that has peanuts and dark chocolate in it because I just finished a swim and I want the peanuts for the protein. I don't know. I've convinced myself I need this thing. And then I'm going to drink water. And he said he will not donate $60 to Kai's Bike Fund unless I don't eat on the show. If I eat and he hears me slurping, here's the candy bar, whatever, right here. If he hears me slurping or chewing or whatever, he's not going to donate. So you're all going to have to wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Oh man, that was good. Except the water tasted like watered down coffee because I had coffee in that bottle earlier today. Well, okay, 3,400 meter swim, doing intervals. Nice warm up for about 15 minutes and then pounding out 7-minute long intervals with like 5-7 minutes rest in between. Just kind of varied, whatever I want. When you finish an interval, I was on a swim team in high school where we would walk 50 yards. And it's a little bit of breaststroke walking to help you recover. And that would actually authorize you to go pretty hard on that interval, because you're going to walk when you're done so you can catch your breath. So it's really, really good stuff. Got out of the water feeling all pumped and jacked. I feel freaking amazing. I feel so strong instead of beat down. I feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger, like I'm lifting weights. Oh, man, it's so freaking great. But let's see. Last night, before I went, I wanted to go run. I needed to go run. It was on my own plan. And I was faced with a bit of a conundrum. Like, I wanted to run outside, man. It was nice outside. But I needed to run intervals. And intervals running are best run uphill. That way, I need to make my legs stronger. And uphill is how you make your legs stronger. It provides a lot of resistance. So... Can I go? I'm going. Okay, I'm going. And sorry. I've got a treadmill in my house, for running when it's nasty weather and whatever else. I'm like, well, I don't want to run on the treadmill. I want to run outside. And we get so caught up in being one thing or the other. Things got to be one way or the other. It's so hard for us sometimes to think outside of the box. And then I was like, oh, I'll do this. I'll run. It's raining outside. I'm driving in the rain if y'all can hear it. I'll drive. I'll run outside for half an hour. I've got a 3-mile loop that leaves from my house and comes back. So I'll run that loop outside. It's really pleasant. It's got varying scenery and stuff. And then I'll... a little confused by the driver in front of me right now. And then I'll get on the treadmill when I'm done running that loop and then run my intervals uphill on the treadmill. And I also live where it's rolling terrain, but our steepest hill is like 2 or 3%, and it's only a couple minutes long, 3 minutes long at most, so it's not really worth anything. And I was like, well, God, outside, then inside. I mean, it's all kind of whatever. I guess I'll give it a try and see what happens. Well, when I was done doing all this, I loved it, man. It was freaking great. I'm totally hooked. So, yeah, I ran 3 miles easy, half an hour easy outside. And then I came inside and then ran the treadmill for my intervals. That it's 3 times 7 minutes uphill. And it's cool with a treadmill. I can push my body exactly for what it needs. I can tell what needs work when I start going uphill. Should I do more resistance, or what am I struggling with right now? What do I need to push my boundary just a little bit? And is it more? Do I need more steep so it's more resistance and it's just more pushing on my legs, or do I need to make it not quite as steep but increase the speed to work on my turnover, to work on my cadence? And I just kind of, it's just buttons, just a little 0.5% grade here, percent grade there, half a mile per hour here and there. You can do it to tenths of a mile per hour. I mean, at one point I was running 10% grade to really wear out my legs, but the turnover's not very fast, So the next one I did like 4% grade at like 8 miles per hour, to work on the turnover, but still give me some work going uphill. It was really, really cool. So I'm on the treadmill running like this, and the bike is sitting next to me on the trainer, and I started thinking, why? Because you got to do bike one day or bike in the morning and run in the afternoon or whatever. I'm like, why aren't we doing? Because the gear's sitting right next to each other. Why am I not doing, warm up by biking or running or whatever, and then do a bike interval and then a run interval? Like 5 minutes easy of whatever in between, no big deal. And then a bike interval and then a run interval, and just keep alternating them, for like 2 of each or something, or 4, I don't know. And you never hear of anybody doing that, I mean, you kind of do, but you hear people doing bricks, right? But you never hear of anybody doing intervals of, say, 5, 7, 10 minutes or something like that, where one of them is on the bike and the other one's on the run, right? And then switching back and forth. And then I thought, well, it must not work if nobody's doing it. And then I'm like, well, but man, innovation comes from somebody trying something that everybody else thinks probably doesn't work or hadn't thought of doing yet. Like, here I am on the treadmill doing my intervals after I ran outside, to warm up. A very casual run, I'm doing something that you normally wouldn't do. You normally would either run outside or run inside. People always say, I don't want to run inside, I want to run outside. And there I was mixing it up. Okay. I might try it this weekend. I don't know if I want to I need to get in some, good workouts before Ironman Texas, and I don't know if I want to mess up. I don't think it would be bad. I just don't know if it's as valuable as doing them, their own way. And so maybe after Ironman Texas, I'll mess around. I don't know. I'll see whatever I get curious with. And another thing I've noticed of doing long warm-up, like 20 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then doing intervals, and then, which I'm finding is just fantastic, and making me feel fantastic and strong and all that stuff, is that I am, again, over and over and over again, I'm going through workouts without eating anything, and I'm going over an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm going hard during those intervals. And last night on the run, I had the tiniest sip of honey before my last interval just to see if it would help, and it might have helped some. It turned out I didn't really need it one way or the other. I couldn't tell that it helped me a lot. And then the swim this morning, I thought, well, I'm going to try the tiniest sip of honey right as I'm getting into the water, and I'm swimming like 15 minutes. Holy crap, that was really the wrong thing to do. This thing where, high-speed sugar just lifts you up and then bottoms out your blood sugar really fast is totally true. So one, I didn't need it because I'd already had breakfast a while ago. And then two, when I did have that, it freaking bottomed me out like quick. And I just said, just keep swimming. You hardly had any honey at all. It was just the tiniest amount. So you won't need, you don't need like to take more to recover you or anything like that. Just keep swimming and you'll just keep swimming like Nemo. You'll be fine. And I did. I ended up being fine. And it's just absolutely amazing of how my fueling requirements have gone 180 degrees by reducing the volume and doing just interval workouts and doing it, and also doing a really long warm up and letting all my systems come online. It's just fantastic. I think the upsides are that I just saw this morning, Macca posted that he spent 2 hours at the dentist getting 2 cavities filled, right? The lack of sugar all in your mouth is better for you. And then it gives you the opportunity to eat veggies and healthy stuff more during the day. You're not having to pile on calories. I went to... I thought my phone call with Tawnee was yesterday, and so I called her, and she goes, "Oh, I'm on another phone call. What time is it?" And then I realized, oh, crap, I'm the one that messed up the time zone. I messed up the time zones, and now I'm stuck for like half an hour or more with nothing to do. And I'm sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store, so I'm like, well, I'm going to go in there and get some veggies, man. So I got a tray, like a party tray, but small. It was 3/4 of a pound, which really isn't all that much, of carrots and broccoli, raw, that you could dip in sauce if you wanted to. They have the ones that come with dipping sauce of ranch, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to get just plain and eat that. And I snacked on that all yesterday afternoon. I ate almost half of it, and it felt amazing. I was like, man. And I want to talk about that some more in another training log or another episode or something like that. Anyways, I got to go into W to the ERK. Nice talking to y'all. Have a great day. Out. Bang. All right, here we are. Okay, I just recorded over lunch the latest news with Tawnee. Man, she is so cool. I could do a news episode with her freaking daily. Man, I wish triathlon was moving that fast. That'd be pretty cool. And hopefully, she'll send me a swim video of herself swimming so we can see what's going on with her and get her fixed up. And let's see. Oh, I forgot. I was going to mention this earlier. Last night's run on the treadmill, I had all the windows closed and the fans turned off and ran, it ended up being over half an hour. It's like 33 minutes of interval work, so hard. And it was after I was already warmed up on the treadmill in this pretty small room. It's our guest bedroom. And I ended up sweating all over the place, but never was I uncomfortably hot, or too hot, I should say. So the heat training seems to be working, where I was able to run just fine in some, what was probably, so I need to look up on my training log and see what the temperature was in that room, what it peaked out at. I was definitely sweating a lot. And it wasn't bothering me at all. And again, one of my techniques is what I'm doing right now. I'm wearing 3 layers. I'm wearing an undershirt, a long sleeve shirt, and a jacket. And zipped up all the way to my neck. And I'm driving in my car with the heater on the highest setting and the fan on. It's not, it doesn't seem like it needs to be big doses. It just needs to be on occasion of the super hot, and then the all day on the verge of sweating, like wearing enough layers where, when I was interviewing Tawnee, at one point I realized my back was sweating. And I was like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, hey, that's what it takes. Anyway, that's it. Out bang. All right. This should be the last entry for the training log. We'll see how it goes. We are getting close to about a week out from Ironman Texas. And I had a killer run this morning. I want to describe how I did it for y'all. And talked to Tawnee Prazak yesterday, which was good. And right now I'm listening to Marcus Aurelius, who was the Roman emperor, who wrote down, he was trained in Stoicism, I believe. He's constantly referred to in Stoicism. And it's very Zen-like. And very, very Zen-like. And being the most powerful man in the world, it's really cool. He wrote down his thoughts all the time. And he was a very humble and liked leader, and did it right. And so it's a hugely popular book. Even though he didn't write it as a book, people after him collected it, and it eventually got turned into a book. It's 5 hours and change on audible.com. It's very dry, the way the guy's reading it. It's not very entertaining at all. So it's actually, I've figured out that if you're doing anything else while you're listening to it, you'll zone out and not really pay attention to it. So I think I'm learning it's more of a lay down and just listen kind of thing as you're going to sleep or just want to relax for half an hour or something like that. Just listen to his thoughts. And because I've been listening to it while I'm brushing my teeth and getting ready for work, and I'm missing most of it. Okay, the run this morning, I did something really interesting. Well, not interesting. I switched. I'm doing intervals. I've been doing intervals on the bike, and then the next day intervals on the run, and then a rest day, and then intervals on the bike, and then intervals on the run, and then a rest day. What I've figured out just in the past few days was I decided to switch and do intervals on the run one day, and then intervals on the bike the next day, and then a rest day. And on my rest day, I'll either swim or I'll swim one of the other days. And it's the opposite end of the body. And I was struggling doing the intervals on the bike, and then the next day doing intervals on the run. My run legs were just kind of shot from being tired from the run or from the bike. And the problem is you're trying to run and you can't get a good run workout in because you're having to, it's different than being on the bike. You're having to hold your body in a particular position, and you're wobbly because your legs aren't very strong. And what happens is you end up not getting a good run workout because you're too unbalanced, because your legs are a little weak from the bike. And but say you flipped it around and you did run intervals. You had a rest day, so you're pretty recovered, and then you do run intervals first, and then on day one, and then day two you do bike intervals. Well, because you're sitting on the bike, you don't need all that extra balance and motor tuning to keep your body upright and to get a good bike workout. You can actually, the bike is more forgiving than the run, and that's the better way. If you're going to do intervals 2 days in a row, do the run first, and then the bike, and then a rest day. And the Sammy method, and a lot of people will tell you that brick running, trying to get a quality run workout, and that's what really matters more than anything, is quality over quantity, is trying to run on tired legs from the bike is very counterproductive, and you're just shooting yourself in the leg. And yeah, it's true, man. You know, if you're trying to get a quality run, man, if your legs are tired at all, then yeah, you're just a mess, dude. You're like a wet bowl of spaghetti, like all over the place. You can still do a pretty good workout, but it's nothing. My run workout this morning was fantastic. Having a rest day, you know, and having a nice break between my last workout and then now this. Okay, so I'm running this morning. It's humid outside, really humid. It's like 75 degrees, but like nearly 100% humidity, and no wind really to speak of. And I thought to myself, well, I'll go run outside. And I ran half an hour with the dog. And what I did was, after about 25 minutes, I started doing an interval. And then when I ended up at the house, I dropped off the dog because it's humid, and even though my dog is a freaking badass. Like, he's a huge black lab. That's just a beast, man. Any dog in high humidity and warmer weather is going to really, really struggle after just a little bit of running hard. And so I dropped him off, and then I live on a loop that has, I live on a cul-de-sac that right off the cul-de-sac has a half-mile loop around my house. Almost exactly half a mile, and it's got 2 rises and 2 falls in it. One of the rises is pretty good. It's probably it's really short, but it's probably like a 4% grade, but only for like a minute, if you're running pretty fast. And so I dropped the dog off, and then I did 2 more intervals of around that loop. And I loved it. Man, it was really, really cool. I think I figured out something. It's out on the open road, but it's a loop, and it's a half mile. And it's got rise and fall on it. I think all around, like, it's a really good training, a really good training environment. I was able, unlike the treadmill, I was able to really open up my legs. I'm so tall that I worry on the treadmill that I'm going to run off of it or like kick something by accident, or I think you run, or that my knees are going to hit the little control panel in front of me. And so running on the open road is actually a little bit better. Oh, and then another reason that I didn't do the treadmill is when I started running, I felt a little twinge of pain in my the left underside of my foot, the plantar fasciitis area, just the tiniest twinge of pain. And I'm like, oh, that's from running inclines on the treadmill the other day. We talked about that. That's the beginning of an injury. So let's run on, not as steep stuff for sustained periods of time. And running outside where it's just a gentle rolling terrain would probably be a little bit better. And then one time while running, my something else hurt first. Oh, my Achilles tendon on my right foot kind of hurt just briefly for a minute. And I was like, yep, that's the treadmill with, the steeper treadmill where I set it to the other day. So I stuck with outside where the terrain isn't as intense as what I would be wanting to do on the treadmill. On the treadmill I can do 10% grade. And so I figured outside where it's gentler, more gentle, would be better. And that's what I stuck with. Making sure I got my food. Okay. So there was all that. Kai is, he's got a soccer tournament on Saturday. I got a long bike ride on Saturday, and I'm going to probably miss some of his soccer tournament, but he's going to play several games, hopefully. It's what do you call it? Instant elimination. And that's, hopefully they'll win their first game and I can catch the second and third games. And then Sunday, this is cool, we're going to Houston and watching Kai in a bicycle crit race, his first ever crit race. That's going to be super exciting. I hope it pans out. We're talking about the future here. So who actually knows what will go on? I've gained a little bit of weight, like probably 4-5 pounds. I think it has to do with the decrease in volume doesn't burn as much calories, and I'm having to kind of figure out how much to eat and not be so afraid of being tired during my workouts. This morning's workout, trying to bring the calorie count back down. I didn't eat enough this morning, so this morning's workout, my first interval was a little bit weak, and I was a little bit lightheaded when I was warming up, and when I dropped, the cool thing about doing a run where you run like half an hour, or run wherever, and then I swing back by the house, is I can, along with dropping off the dog before I do intervals, I can pick up water and a little bit of fuel if I want. I've got that flask with a little bit of watered down honey in it, and that was perfect. That made me feel better. But it was crazy. I only needed the tiniest bit. Then I was fine again. And wait, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. The other thing I wanted to talk about right now, currently, I've found a really, really nice balance of working out, where I feel so good, and my skin is actually clearing up. I've had this vitiligo, or I've already called it impetigo, and Emily's like, I don't think that's what you got. You get impetigo from like eating feces or something, but vitiligo is where your skin pigment starts fading away. Michael Jackson disease. You get blotches of white skin. It happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people you can't tell. White people, it's hard to tell that they've got it. But my skin seems to be clearing up, and it's an immune deficiency, autoimmune disorder. That's what it is. Probably from stressing out your body too much, you could probably kick this off. And since I quit being vegan and added in meat and fat, which has a lot of different vitamins, and then I quit trying to be so lean, and especially that kind of stopped it. And then now, just recently, since I've started decreasing the volume and focusing more on rest and recovery, it seems to be reversing. So I don't know. Could be related, maybe not. Everything's related to each other one way or another, but it's so complicated it's hard to tell, what's going on. So, but the other thing is, what I meant to say is I've found a really nice balance lately. Things are always changing. Of working out and then enough rest and recovery to allow me to work out hard, and then the working out hard with the intensity stuff just feels so good, and it makes you feel stronger, which is, I think, really critical to humans for happiness. Is you want to feel powerful, in some way or another. There's a very delicate balance between going too long when you're trying to go hard and overdoing it, and the inclination to do more. And again, I want to be careful to say, I don't have it all figured out, but the right balance. Lately, it seems like I've found a really nice, let's not say right, let's say a very nice balance of rest and recovery, and that allows me, and then also doing the workouts that allows me to go really hard, like really, really hard on the interval stuff that makes me, you get that nice release of, runner's high endorphins, and it makes you feel like you're getting somewhere and you're doing to your potential, which is really important. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. It allows you to put in hard work to see who you really are. And that validation at the end of the workout that you just feel great is really important. And these it's just really nice, and I won't go too much into this podcast because I don't want to give out exact numbers of what works, because I think it varies per person, and I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it exactly figured out. And I don't want people to, run with numbers that may not work for them, and then they try too hard to do what Brett's doing. And but I can, for example, what I figured out is, for me, is intervals on the run first, one day on Monday, and then intervals on the bike on Tuesday, and then rest day on Wednesday, and then repeat. Right now seems to be like a really smart way, but how long those intervals are, how to execute the intervals, how long to warm up, how much rest, how to tell all these things is it's a very individual thing that I think over time, maybe if I continue with this, I'll I'll start giving details if it seems to make more sense. But anyway, that's it. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll have the run up to Ironman Texas, maybe Ironman Texas itself in the next episode. I think, yeah, maybe. And I think that's it. All right, everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.